Welcome back to the bench. Ham Spiced here with Midwest Gadgets, and today I wanted to go over the Piglet. The Piglet is an open source war driving device that I released in the open source community because I wanted to have a low cost, very easy to use war driver that was autonomous. Like once you set it up, you can put it in your car, you can drive around with it, you don't have to log in, you don't have to do anything once it's set up. It'll automatically upload to Watchdog Go Wars or Wiggle. So I sell this on my site. I have two different forms of it. I have a completed version, which I've already gone through all the headache of building, or a DIY version, which I strongly recommend people buy because it's a very easy device to solder together and build yourself. And that's what I wanted to go over today. If you order it online, you will get absolutely everything to have your war driver completed, except for a Zhao C5 and an SD card. But what it does come with is the board itself with the switch attached, an SD card module, a screen, a ATGM GPS module with the antenna. I like to include a Wi-Fi antenna that's different than the Zhao's. I have a whole bunch of these PCB antennas that I picked up a while ago, and they work really well. The Zhao antenna works fine. These I feel like work a little bit better. So as I have stock of these, I'm going to start using these. But the kit, the DIY kit, also comes with a full 3D printed Piglet case, and of course the 4 screws to put the case together. So in this video, I want to go over how easy it is to put this together. It's not something that you need to spend the entire afternoon building. You should be able to build it, I would say, maybe 20 minutes. So we'll see how long this video is and how quickly I can get this thing together. So once you have your board, the first thing I recommend doing is taking your pin header that you would get from the Zhao when you buy it, put it along the back side, take your Zhao, put it on just like that. You just need to set it on. You're not going to be soldering the Zhao to the pin header. It's mostly just for placement. Next, I'm going to get my pine sill. If you don't have a pine sill, I highly recommend these. These are great little soldering irons. And I'm going to solder right here on my display, or right on my felt. I always do the first pin. And then once I have my first pin, I make sure the placement looks good, and then I take out my pin header. Now I'm going to turn it sideways so I can see. And I'm going to do every other pin, or the rest of the pins of the Zhao. You don't have to be exact with these stamp modules. You can kind of poke through them, but as long as you get solder on the pad, it'll suck in. Helps if I have a clean iron. Touching all the pins of the Zhao to make sure the solder sticks really well to it. Now I'm going to flip it around. I'm going to do the other side. Alright, that looks great. Next, one of the things that I like to do, and I like to do this very early, is I like to put some Captain tape over the Zhao itself. Before we forget to do anything, I want to make sure I put that antenna on. There's been far too many times where I've built one of these and I've forgotten to put the antenna on, and then I have to pry up the screen, and it's a big mess. So use the UFL connector. You put in one side, put pressure on it, and then just kind of roll the connection and you'll hear it snap into place. All right, antenna goes to the left just to get it in and out of the way. Next thing that I like to do is I like to put a little piece of Kapton tape right over the top. This is going to go over the antenna connector and a portion of the USB connector. And all this is doing is the screen is going to go on top of the jowl, and any of the components on the screen I don't want to short on the top of the jowl. So I got that in place. Next I'm going to flip it over, and I want to put some Kapton tape over here. And it doesn't have to be Kapton tape. You can use some electrical tape. I use Kapton tape because I have a ton of it. But I'm going to place it right here. And it's going to cover these back pins that the jowl would normally connect to. And this is so the SD card module that's going to go right here doesn't short out on any of these pins. It's a step that's often missed. I have it listed in the GitHub to make sure that you guys do it, but sometimes people forget or you go a little bit too fast. So for here, our SD card module, it goes down. So I'm going to start with getting my header pins, put them into the module, and I'm going to put the module onto the Piglet, and it goes down like that. Just like before, I'm going to come through with my solder and hit each one of these pins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, the SD card module is the one that you're going to have the most struggles with once you get the firmware installed. If it's not installed properly or it's grounding out on those pins, you're going to get SD fail. So I make sure I go through here and reflow all of this solder just to make sure it's solid. Now I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to get the pins on this side. Go nice and slow, you don't have to go fast. It's not a race. And what I'm doing is I'm taking the tip of my iron, I'm placing it next to the pin, and then I'm putting my solder on the pin and pad itself, so you get nice solid adhesion. Just like before, I'm going to go through and I'm going to touch each one of these joints with my iron, make sure it flows nice and solid into that pad. This is how I ensure that that module is getting full connection to the board. Alright, nice and easy. Next is our screen. So our screen, we're going to do long pins down, screen on top. Now the screen is going to rest exactly over the jowl. And these header pins for the screen on this batch are a little tight, so I'm going to put them in first, and I'm going to place it right there. I'm going to take my solder. I'm going to solder these screen pins on. Do it this way, it's a little bit easier for me. Just like before, I'm going to take a look at the joints, make sure they look good. Just do a quick touch up. Perfect. Alright, now we're going to flip the whole board over. I'm going to make sure it's nice and flat, and I'm going to get my first set of pins. I only do the first one just to make sure placement looks good. Alright. So I did that first pin. I'm going to flip it over and I'm going to take a look at the screen. Some people had a lot of luck by taking the Piglet and building just the midboard and the face and then putting it in and then soldering it, but this way works just as well for me. And since I'm building 50 to 100 of them at a time, I go with what's quickest. Alright, we got all 4 joints. You can see that there's a little bit of gap here because it rests directly on the jowl. Same as before, I'm just going to touch up all of my pins. Okay. Now is the GPS module. The GPS module can be installed 2 different ways. You can install it like this on the back, or it can be installed like this on the front. It's your call. I had a pin out here for an external antenna. I don't really like using them, so that's why I've kind of traveled away from using it, but it's there if you want to. I've kind of grown really attached to installing the module this way, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get my 4-pin connector. Short end goes here on the module, and just like before, I'm going to put it all together right there, and I'm going to do my pins first. I think I'm going to turn it this way so I don't risk hitting any of the components. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a quick look. Same as before, I'm going to touch all my pins. Now, we're going to flip it over and make sure it's nice and flat. I have to probably turn it this way so I can get to the pins. Nice and flat. I'm going to do the first pin. Take a look at it. Make sure it's nice and straight. And then I'm going to do the rest of the pins. 1, 2, 3, 4. We already did that first one, so that makes 5 pins. Again, just like before, we're going to touch up each one of our pins, reflow that solder. There we go. At this point, you want to make sure that you plug in the GPS antenna. I do one side, level it out, and just kind of rock it in place and it'll click. One of the server members, Dougie, he mentioned that when you put these antennas on, you want to make sure that you don't accidentally touch that battery with the side of the antenna. Otherwise you run the risk of burning the antenna out. So we're not going to touch it. This is going to go sideways like that. This one goes like this. That's because this is going to go around. Oh, I'm going to bring it this way. And this is going to come up when we put it in our case. Right now, what I would recommend doing is taking your SD card, making sure you format it in FAT32, and you put the wardriver.cfg file on here. And on that wardriver.cfg file, you can put your SSID and password. And then when you plug it in and flash the Piglet, it will automatically connect. So, just like this, clicks right in. Now, I'm going to get my Piglet board. Here's the midboard. Like I said before, Wi-Fi antenna goes down, GPS antenna comes up. Once it's in here, you have to angle your USB connection to go through the hole, and then once it's in there, you should be able to just press it into place. Make sure that you're not pinching your GPS antenna. Now, you're going to get your GPS antenna, you're going to run it across the case, and it's supposed to go in the slot like this, angled slightly. This bottom side needs to be pointed towards the sky. And what I've noticed is if you keep this slight angle to it when people are holding it, or if you put it up on your dash, that gives a perfect line of sight to the sky. Next, take your antenna for the Wi-Fi, place it in the back case. If you're using the Xiao, you can slide your Xiao antenna right here in the side. There's a channel for it. So it goes right in the side, and then you take your Piglet case and you slide it in the same way, and that slot goes all the way into the face, so it sandwiches in just perfect. I don't have that one, so I'm not going to. So it goes just like that. I'm going to take my screws, put them through the backside, into the midboard to hold it in place. The face has heat inserts in the back. Just line it up. Screw in your case. And there you go. That's your Piglet. From here, there's a couple of ways that you can flash it. You can download the firmware directly from my Git. Just clone the directory, load it up into Arduino IDE, and you can flash it directly from there. I've done that many times. That's in fact how I flash every single Piglet that I have. But if you don't feel comfortable doing that, and a lot of people don't feel comfortable in Arduino IDE, you can go to espterminator.com. Very good friend of mine, Dag, he's the one that runs it. He's done a phenomenal job keeping it updated. But ESP Terminator is what I always recommend. It's kind of set and forget. You plug it in, you flash it, it just works. So I'm going to take this, plug it into Arduino IDE, and I'm going to upload the code directly. It's going to take a second to build and upload. Once it finishes, it'll reboot. You'll see a nice little image on the screen. Every single time that you update the firmware on the Piglet, it's going to say SD fail. So, let's see if I can stop it from scrolling like that. There we go. So, the best way to resolve the SD fail after a firmware upload, unplug it, plug it back in. It just needs a fresh power cycle. It's going to read the SD card. Since I don't have my Wi-Fi information on the SD card, it's not going to pull it, and the first thing it's going to do is it's going to start the web API, or the web AP. It's going to tell you connect to the Wi-Fi network, and you'll have a Wi-Fi network that pops up. I want to say it is Piglet-wardriver. Yep, Piglet-wardriver. And once you connect to it, it's going to ask for a password. Password should be wardriver1234. And then when you connect to it, the first thing you want to do is go to the IP address that's listed down here, 4.1. Go to it, put in your SSID, put in your Wi-Fi passphrase, and hit save and reboot. It's going to connect to your local network, and then it's going to list the IP address on your local network. So you're going to want to connect to it with your web browser. and from there you can enter your API key for Wiggle and your API key for Watchdog Go Wars. I might do a video on setting it up for the first time, but I usually recommend just putting that information on the SD card when you copy over the wardriver.cfg. Now that we have it installed, SD is listed as OK. Tells me everything's going good. See if I can change some of these settings on the camera so it doesn't spin like that. Nope. I guess for me to walk through anything, it's going to have to be very, very bright. The first page of the Piglet is going to be your status page. It tells you how many networks you've been able to pull and the speed of the GPS. See an X up here in the corner? That X tells me that the GPS hasn't achieved a lock yet. When it achieves a lock, you'll see wireless bars appear on the right. The wireless bars tell you how many satellites it's connected to. So if you see, I want to say 5 bars, it means it's connected to 5 or more satellites. The next page, it's just a basic network page. It gives you your 2.4 and 5 gigahertz counts in a total. The next page is navigation. It's going to show you your direction of travel and how fast you're going. Next page is pause. So if you're connected to a power bank and you don't want to capture the networks in that area, you just stay on this page. It's going to pause the war driving. Next page is the infamous moonwalking pig. There's a couple of secret Easter eggs on this page. I'm not going to give them away in this video, but you can search the community. And the last page is the mesh page. I wanted to design a device that doesn't make you have to get a different device if you already have other war drivers. So on this mesh page, it's going to act as a mesh device, and it'll be able to connect to the Biscuit Pro, the Biscuit Ultra, and Just Call Me Coco's C5 war driver. So if you have it in this mode, you use one of their war drivers, it can connect to that core and act as a node war driver. Likewise, if you have other Piglets, or you flash the node only software, or you have a DIY Biscuit, if you press and hold this button here, it changes the mode from being a node to a core, and it starts looking for other nodes. I hate having the idea of e-waste, and I wanted to have everyone make use of the technology that they currently have to its fullest potential. To get out of core mode, press the user button one more time and we go right back to that main page. So that is a step-by-step, beginning to end guide on how to build the Piglet. I'm really thankful everyone was here with me while I did it. I really hope that you enjoy war driving, especially with the Piglet. It's basically set and forget. Once you do this initial config, there shouldn't be any other things that you have to do. It just works. Take care, everyone.